First off, props to Nike and all these other sneaker companies for finally realizing that the idea of comfort really needed an overhaul. And who knew that foam would be the answer to all those solutions for getting that cloud-like feeling in our sneakers. Now, if you guys didn't read in the title, this shoe is called the Nike Epic React Flyknit. This shoe, I went half size up from true to size. The number one thing that is most difficult about putting on this shoe is getting into it. The reason why is because it's very, very tight around the ankle collar. This ankle collar is what we call a booty collar. That means the tongue is attached to the ankle area, as well as it has a one-piece upper from the entire shoe, and the only seam you'll ever see is at the back where the pull tab is. Now, after pulling your tongue forward and pulling the pull tab backwards, it's still a very difficult way to put on your shoe. It's very, very tight, and it might be even more difficult for wide footers like myself. So the easiest way to put it on is actually to use a shoehorn. Well, of course, if you guys have a shoehorn at hand, you should always use your shoehorn on any sneakers, or else you'll ruin the rear side of your shoe. After you put it on, your feet should be perfectly fine because you'll have a little bit of wiggle room if you guys go half size up, as well as it being very comfortable. Now, this shoe features a one-piece Flyknit upper. In a toe box area, you can see that it has this perforated pattern. This is to increase breathability for the runner or whoever is wearing the shoe. Now, above the prime knit, you're given this flat white lace that are interlaced through this faux leather eyelet, and this faux leather eyelet material is also used for the Nike swoosh. At the rear side of the shoe, you have this yellow pull tab that says Epic React at the back, and then you have this blue heel cup that says Nike in this glossy lettering. And then under the blue heel cup, you'll have this pink stabilizer in the color Pink Blast. This stabilizer is so that your shoe will be always steady when you guys are using the cushion to propel your step forward in motion. So the next part of the shoe is the most important, which is the React foam that is being shown in the entire midsole. The React foam extends from the midsole all the way to the outsole. There is two different rubber pieces, one in the forefoot area and one in the heel area. These two rubber pieces are quite abnormal instead of having a full length rubber, and I'll get more in depth as to why that is a little bit later. Just looking at the pattern in the midsole and as well as the outsole, you can see there's a zigzag pattern with a little bit of squiggliness between it. This foam is actually function focused, meaning whenever the foam collapses on itself, it basically rebounds and gives you back a little bit more to propel forward. Now, the first thing you're gonna notice when you put on this shoe is that you're not gonna notice anything. So what I mean is you're not gonna get that extreme cloud-like feeling when you stand on this shoe, because there is no immediate comfort. I think that immediate comfort with the cushion feeling is negligible in this shoe. The reason being is because this shoe is only reactive and only shines when you move forward or have movement within the shoe. If you have no movement and you're stationary, this shoe will not shine whatsoever. But also to note is that I'm kind of lightweight, and if you're on the heavier side, it might have a better reaction to the foam. Another thing to note is that I'm not an athlete, so I can't really give you the full perspective of what a runner or athlete would use this shoe for, but I quite understand what the motions are for a runner and what their styles are, so perhaps I can give you some sort of insight through that. But otherwise, I will be basing it off mainly on casual wear. So the next thing you're gonna notice after putting on the shoe is the Flyknit upper being really conforming to your feet. I say going half size up because the Flyknit is not stretchable whatsoever, and me being a wide footer, I need that extra space just to fit my foot to be a little bit more comfortable. So if you're a wide feeder, this shoe is quite narrow, and it's also not the best because the structure is not stretchy. The only time that the Flyknit is stretchy is in the tongue area and as well as the ankle area. So if you're looking for a shoe that is comfy to walking casually, I think Ultra Boost with the stretchy prime knit is better. But if you're a performance person, which is what Nike obviously built this shoe on, this shoe will feel like it's just conforming to your feet as well as being able to be one with your feet. This shoe is really, really great because of its W type contact points. So what I mean is, if you put this flat on a table, you will see that the 2 contact points, it makes a W out of the shoe. The mid heel area is where one of the contacts are, the other one is the midfoot area. So right here where there's that contact, these 2 parts of the shoe is always on a little bit of a curve or a roll. So if you lean forward, this shoe wants to push you forward. So this is definitely a great design for runners, so that you're always feeling like you're going to be on your toes. All right, so I'm going to dive into the 2 rubber outsole and why it's so confusing. The reason why this shoe only has 2 rubber outsoles, the first reason is because Nike is trying to focus on 2 different types of running. The first one is toe strike running, which is very influenced by last year's Breaking 2 marathon, where the runner is only using their toe strike to go forward, and that has been a technique that has been used to prove that you can move faster and propel yourself forward more with the toe strike. And then in the heel strike is for people who need the heel strike if they are a heel strike runner, and you can see that Nike isn't really focusing on that because there's a lot less rubber grip in the heel area as there is in the front toe area. That's the first reason why there's 2 rubber pieces. The second reason is because of lightweightness. This rubber outsole, it can feel right away, is hard, so this rubber outsole is probably going to be a little bit more thick and dense in terms of material. So if they have this all the way down, you basically add to the weight. So as a runner, if you're breaking your personal records, you might not want the extra weight. Now the third reason why there is 2 rubber outsoles instead of a full length one is because of the sacrifice of comfort. So if you have a full length rubber like this one right here, you basically make a hard surface over the foam, ending up with the foam not being able to contact the ground properly and getting that cushy feeling that you're asking for, just so that the shoe can get a nice, good performance-based usage, but not for casual wear. Now, to add on to the full-length rubber outsole, the reason why Adidas was able to do it with their foam is because their outsole is actually the stretched web continental outsole. So what that means is the stretch web really helps with being able to get boost as well as getting the grip in your shoe. So with the pattern on the web sole, you can see that there are little squares. Those little squares are able to pronounce the boost comfort. So if you were to have a shoe that doesn't have a soft, flexible outsole and has a really good foam, it's because the outsole is too hard for the foam to be reacting on it. Whereas if you have a flexible outsole, you would be able to feel the foam in any condition. Alright, so at the end of the day, I feel like the Nike Epic React Flyknit is a very reactive, comfy, and supportive shoe, and it's also very performance based. So if you are a runner, this will be definitely amazing for you. But if you're a casual wearer, you have to be wary of that, wary of the midsole not being able to have grip. This might cause it to be very slippery in wet conditions. As well as a casual wear, I guess you can use this a lot. I'm just worried that under rough textures and circumstances, you might be able to rip the middle portion out. So another thing I would like to add is that if you previously owned a foam-based midsole, let's say Puma Ignite Evo Knit, New Balance Fresh Foam, or even Adidas Boost, this shoe will definitely not be any news to you. If you try it on, you're not going to be like blown away by its comfort. It is a comfortable shoe, especially if you are brand new to this category of foam based shoes. It's definitely a step up for like EVA midsoles. So if you were to buy this shoe for performance base and you're looking for that reactiveness, this is definitely the shoe for you. But otherwise, if you already have something similar, I don't think exactly it's worth that. So I definitely feel like it's really, really great as a cushion for first timers. If you're looking for a shoe and trying to make it a performance one, this will be definitely your shoe. So anyways, I know I said a lot. I hope this deep insight was able to give you guys more ideas as to what kind of shoe this is and what kind of market really asks for this type of shoe. This has been Billyvisuals. I hope you guys got visualized, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.